The physician's hand trembled when he beckoned me aside. His gaze darted past me as if the hallway itself might eavesdrop. "Are you the paternal figure?" The words didn't sting initially. They merely hovered, but something in his tone, hesitation etched into the bone, made my chest constrict. "Yes." My voice emerged, curt, defensive. He swallowed hard. "You require legal counsel, and you must notify law enforcement immediately." "What has transpired?" I demanded. He leaned closer. His voice, a whisper dragged through ash. "Examine the infant's dorsum. You will comprehend." I didn't move at first. My limbs anchored, my cardiac rhythm in strange, uneven intervals, as if each thud posed a query I wasn't prepared to address. But I compelled myself back into the chamber. Emily, my wife, a woman who had just given birth, was pale, exhausted, radiant with the false serenity of performance. She smiled, weak, fragile. The babe squirmed in its blanket. I pulled the fabric down. The blemish glared back at me, familiar, a birthmark shaped like a crooked crescent etched in the identical location as another man I knew too well. My world fractured in silence. I dropped the covering, and I fled. The atmosphere outside tasted like rust and smoke. My lungs couldn't expand, no matter how I gasped. I leaned against the medical facility wall, my palms cold, quivering. The mark, the same jagged crescent that stained my wife's cousin. The individual she swore was nothing more than a familial obligation, but I had observed the way her eyes lingered, too protracted, too ardent, and now it resided on my child's back, not mine. The treachery was too pristine, too intentional. I recollected evenings she slipped into the kitchen, phone pressed tight to her ear, lowering her voice when I entered. The sudden silences, the pretexts that never corresponded to the hour. I had disregarded them out of affection or frailty. Now the frailty was engraved into flesh and isn't flesh. I pressed my head against the bricks. They scraped, nicked, grounded me. She had lied with her physique, lied with her vows, lied into my bed, and given him what she never truly granted me. I didn't accost her, not then. I returned to my dwelling alone. The apartment was silent, suffocating. Her fragrance still clung to the bedsheets, mocking me. I opened her bureaus, her mobile device, electronic mail. Nothing conspicuous. She was prudent, too prudent. But patterns emerged. Late-night financial transactions, concealed credit card expenditures, lodging receipts under her maiden surname. I traced them one by one. My stomach hardened. Rage tempered into calculation. Then the genetic test. I took the sample myself. Stray strands of hair, a smudge of saliva on a drinking glass, coldly, meticulously, and dispatched it like an execution order. I worked. I ate. I smiled through days of waiting. But internally, I unraveled, slowly, quietly. At night, I rehearsed what I'd utter, how I'd regard her when the truth surfaced. I practiced silence more than words. Silence has mass. Silence can annihilate. Each detail stacked neatly in my mind, like weapons arranged on a surface. I didn't need to shriek. I would let the truth do it for me. The envelope arrived on a gray morning plane, unmarked, innocuous. I slid it open with deliberate calm, though my fingers tingled. The findings were clinical, detached, percentages and probabilities. Science made treachery quantifiable. The child was not mine. My chest hollowed, but I smiled. A small, sharp expression. That evening, I returned to the medical facility. She was awake, cradling the infant, her face soft with counterfeit affection. "Beautiful, isn't he?" she whispered. I handed her the report. Folded, neat, no words. She opened it. Her complexion drained. The air shifted. "I can elucidate," she stammered. I didn't flinch, didn't breathe, just stared. Cold, immovable. She shattered before me, tears spilling, words choking, hands trembling around the child that wasn't mine. I remained mute. The silence screamed louder than any accusation. The next day I contacted him, the cousin. I didn't accuse, I simply asked him to convene. When he arrived, smug and oblivious, I slid the report across the table. His eyes widened, his smirk collapsed. No shouting, no altercation, just the quiet realization that his clandestine existence was over. "I already filed," I told him flatly. "The solicitors, the constabulary, everything. By tomorrow, your designation won't be whispered in shadows. It'll be etched in public documentation." His lips trembled, words clawing at his throat. I stood, walked out, left him in his own ruin. I didn't need to touch him. The veracity was sufficient. The apartment felt altered when I returned, empty but not suffocating. I sat in the darkness, gazing at nothing, my hands steady, my heart no longer frenzied. The babe's face still haunted me, but the mark on his dorsum was no longer just a laceration. It was a scar on her falsehoods, not mine. I owed nothing to her, to him, to the child born of deception. The shackles had snapped cleanly. I wasn't the paternal figure, and I never would be.